Today in the world, during the coronavirus pandemic, we are facing an incredible opportunity. All of the stocks are on sale. Now, if you've read about investing, if you've read The Intelligent Investor, specifically by Benjamin Graham, who Warren Buffett credits as the individual who gave him the idea for investing, then you know that the crucial element of a good stock purchase is making sure that you are getting value for your money. So let's talk about today why Southwest is the stock to get right now and why you have a very small amount of time and a small win opportunity to make an incredible amount of money. So let's start by exiting this, and let's start by looking at Southwest as a whole. So it is a major American airline headquartered in Dallas, Texas, and the world's largest low-cost carrier. So they've dominated the market here. They've been around for over 50 years, over 53 years, which is great. And that shows that this business has resiliency. On top of that, they have over 60,000 employees, and that was as of 2019. And here is the crucial part. Here's the crucial part. As of 2019, they carry the most domestic passengers of any U.S. airline. Okay. Because they're carrying the most passengers, domestic passengers of any U.S. airline, that means they're a staple of the U.S. economy, which means that the U.S. government is reliant on Southwest Airlines for a large portion of the economy. We're all reliant on this. So that there's two things there. One, that means that they're a staple, and we all know that when companies get too big to fail, the U.S. government will step in and make sure that they don't. And we'll actually talk a little bit about the bailout that Southwest Airlines is participating in. But second, during the coronavirus, we as a nation, as the United States, we are going to be really careful about international flights. So the international airlines are going to get crushed. But because Southwest has this niche of carrying the most domestic passengers of any U.S. airline, that means that they have protection, because we're not going to be as worried about US to US flights. So they're going to be one of the first ones to come back, which gives them more resiliency. Okay. So let's actually let's take a look at their stock price. Just today, they went up 3.62% as of right now, as of the recording of this video. So what's crazy about that is and look, they just went up again. 4% in a day, that's unreal. But as we all know, that can fluctuate. So let's take a look at the longer term charts. Let's take a look at a month. Okay. So we see already we're starting to make an incline. Okay. And we see that there's been a huge decline lately because of the virus starting, late February, super early March. And we see that it has, from a perspective of where it should be, roughly around 50, mid to low 50s, we see that it's not even close to that right now. So it's on sale, right? But let's say we want to make sure that this is a viable stock. Looking at the charts here, again, we see year to date, we see that we should be hovering around the 50s, and that we see a slight increase here, but that it's crashed and it's just now beginning to peak. It's just now beginning to recover and hit a peak. And again, if we back out even further, and even further, if we go to max, we see here that this stock is going to do nothing but keep rising once it gets out of this tremendous hole that it's in here. This tremendous hole that it's in. If you see here in 2009, when we had another crash, if you bought then at $5 per share and you held it until $50 per share or $60 per share, I trust you can see how much money you would have made there, right? You would have 10x your investment in just a couple of years. So we're here at this inflection point. We are here. This means we have a huge opportunity to get into the market right now in order to make a ton of money. So if we look at a few of these, and this is why I say we have a small window of opportunity here, right? If we look at CNBC, a credible source, right now, May 19th is when Southwest is finally hitting this another inflection point where new bookings are outpacing cancellations, which is a pandemic turning point. That means that even though they're still getting crushed, they're still getting crushed. Nobody's denying that. But the rate at which they're getting crushed is now starting to decline, and they're starting to make their comeback, which means you want to be right at the bottom as they start to trend up. You want to be right at the bottom right as they start to trend up. And as we see here, we are definitely at the bottom. We are definitely at the bottom here. I mean, we hit a tremendous low point. And so, if you wanted to get in at 22, that'd be even better, but it's going to go back up. It's going to go back up because they're not going to fail. So, I would rather get in now when it's way down from what it should be, where it's been hovering for the past couple of years, and where it's going to come back because all the other airlines that are trying to compete with it are getting crushed too. And if we look at the history of Southwest, they've always been the strongest airline, the most profitable airline. So now's the time to get in. But we need to make sure it's not one article. So we also see here, um, we see here again on Barron's that Southwest Airlines says they're seeing a demand for air travel, and ticket sales start to pick up. And now we're seeing it's not just Southwest, but it's the whole airline industry is going to be on a slow path to recovery. And this is where those who get in now at the bottom of it can take advantage when this slow path to recovery hits a peak. Because remember with Bitcoin, remember in I think it was 2009 when you could get Bitcoin for less than a penny. Okay. That's a more extreme example, but right now you have an opportunity to jump in where there's significant opportunity. And you may say, well, I don't want to get in because what if there is going to be, what if the business fails? Okay. So, first of all, um, Southwest has a massive advantage over all the other airlines because of their balance sheet, the way the companies run. They're a low cost carrier, so they're used to cutting costs to maintain profitability. They've been around for over 50 years, and they have that stranglehold on domestic travel. But also, they're getting a huge bailout. The airlines are getting a huge bailout by the government because they're too big to fail. They're too big to fail, right? And so a $25 billion bailout to prop up the industry, they're not going to let it fail. And look, Southwest Airlines is going to participate. Southwest Airlines is going to participate. So they're not going to fail. They're not going anywhere. And if you see the charts and you look at historically, this is a company on the rise and they just hit a massive downturn, and you understand that the stock is on sale, I would highly recommend considering getting in now. Now, let's just be super clear. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not giving you any sort of financial advice. I'm not telling you what you should do, what you could do. I can't predict the future. I'm just simply telling you my thought process on, hey, this is something that you should be considering. So, um, make sure you do your own research, make sure you look into this, and make sure that you're making a decision that is the best decision for you. Now, in order to make this easier for you to go about and do, you may not be as familiar with how to invest in stocks, or you may be paying ridiculous commissions on when you're trading. You should be able to make trades for free, and you should be able to start with as little um, or as much or as little amount of money as you want. So I'm going to include in the description below a link to an app called Robinhood. And two things are great about, well, a lot of things, but two critical things. One, when you download using the link below, you're going to get a free share of stock. So that's just Robinhood's trying to get new customers, so they're going to give you a free share of stock. So definitely take advantage of that. So that's one. But two, you can do free trades. So that means you don't have to pay in order to get into the game, into the market, which is phenomenal because some of your bigger players are still charging you $4 or $5 to make a trade. If you're getting one share of Southwest Airlines stock and you pay $5, that's a huge percentage of your assets that you're paying just to be able to own that asset. So don't do that. Get a commission-free trading thing. And as um, as you're looking through, you may not want to use Robinhood. That's fine, but make sure you don't get screwed by the commissions that you have to pay. So anyways, now to take advantage. And look, maybe you find a different stock that you think, okay, this is definitely going to rise, but just be cognizant that Southwest Airlines is positioned to make a strong, strong comeback. We're developing more vaccines. We're getting smarter with how we're managing the virus. We're more aware of this. And so this isn't going to keep our economy down for long. And the ones that are going to survive are the critical industries. Airlines are critical. We have to have airlines in order to make in order to be able to travel. So they're not going to be just left to dust. Southwest Airlines is not going to fail. So now's the time to get in.